Hello everyone, thank you for joining me here in my kitchen. I'm going to be throwing together another dessert. So on my last episode I made this kind of like s'more pie sort of thing, and I made it really miniature just in case I screwed it up. I am going to be scaling it up, but since it's not really s'more season anymore, I'm going to be making a pumpkin spice coffee pie. And it's going to be another spin-off of a lemon pie recipe that I've been using for a while, and it's just going to be replacing the lemon and water with milk and coffee, basically. All these videos that I've made up to this point are things that I'm trying new and I don't really have a solid recipe for. They're just kind of spin-offs of other recipes, or just something that I decided to kind of throw together using the limited amount of cooking knowledge that I have, and it just kind of shows that cooking really isn't that hard, and like pretty much anyone can do it, even if you're just kind of screwing around. So let's see how this goes, and thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing to this video. I'm new to this whole thing, and doing that would help out a lot. Okay, I'm going to start off by making a crust. I'm making a graham cracker based crust today. I could do pastry crust, but it's harder to film, so graham cracker it is. And I'm going to be using the shortcut method, which hopefully will not backfire on me. I'm going to just blitz up the butter in the food processor with it rather than melting it on. So this is what I do. I kind of experiment with things, so you can decide for yourself if you want to try these cooking methods or baking methods. Is it a good idea to throw butter into the food processor with our graham crackers? I don't know. We'll find out. That's what I'm here for. And it seems that these will be kind of hard to... Hopefully I will have enough room in the food processor. Let's try this. Okay, that created a lot of space. A couple more in. Whoops, yeah, it seems to help to break them up into at least like kind of smaller pieces. Moment of truth. I'm gonna see how foolish I really am. Or it could be a genius, I don't know. Oh. I was going to put a little bit of cinnamon in there. I'm using cinnamon because that is an ingredient in pumpkin spice, I believe. And it's just to kind of make it a little bit, like, add a little variability to the whole thing. I'm going to throw a little ginger in here too. Seems like a good idea. Add a little bit of sugar. About a quarter of a cup or so. Salt seems appropriate too. I don't have my measuring devices over here, so I'm just using my hand. Don't tell anyone. About half teaspoon or so in there, and then I'm going to get that nice and homogenized before I throw in the butter. Moment of truth. I'm gonna use like maybe about half a stick of butter in here. Just kind of cube it up like so. I start with just that much and add as needed. Oh, I don't like that sound. Just kind of get a sense of how this is feeling. So I'm going to cut this up into like little kind of quarter pieces or so. This little bit. Just going to quarter this little bit of butter. This is butter that I just kind of pulled out of the fridge a couple minutes ago, so it's reasonably hard. I imagine the friction of the blades is probably heating it up some. That looks about like how I would want this to look. Very scientific. And if you remember in my last video, the chocolate pie crust was kind of a disaster because I put too much butter in it. So I'm going to try like kind of underdoing it. This feels pretty dry. I'd rather have it be kind of crumbly because, I mean, it's not going anywhere. It'll just be kind of messy like when it's served out of the dish. It's very powdery around the edges. I don't know if there's anything good I can do about that. Might just have to be like that. Oven is going on 350 Fahrenheit, which I believe is about 180 C. Here it goes into the oven. I'm going to put it in for 10. Time to take the crust out of the oven. Let's see how it is. Oof. Feels reasonably solid, a little crumbly, a little bit of bits that I didn't quite press in well enough. But I think that's going to hold up together. At least it's going to maintain its shape until I pour the filling in there, which is really what matters to me. Okay, so for my filling, I have about 2/3 of a cup of pretty strong coffee, and I'm just gonna fill this up with whole milk until it gets to about 2 full cups of total liquid. Cup of sugar or so in there, maybe 3/4 cups. Try to be healthy. Of course, can't forget the pumpkin spice. Probably just use up a good portion of this thing. Add a little bit of cornstarch. I'm going to do a little less than half a cup, so maybe about 1/3 of a cup. I'll just kind of conveniently do what was in this container. And it's quite lumpy. Probably not a good thing. Now I will add some egg yolks from 4 large eggs and put the whites aside. The coffee was hot, but there was so much milk in there, cold milk, that there's no way that the egg yolk is going to curdle prematurely, or at all. We don't want it to curdle. Oh, I messed up big time. I didn't stir the cornstarch in. If there weren't egg yolks in here, I might consider drinking this straight. Here this goes into a medium saucepan. And then I'll use this opportunity just to make sure that all the egg yolks and cornstarch is out of there. So yeah, make sure that the cornstarch makes it in, and make sure that the egg yolk is all broken up properly, which it seems to be. And put it on a little bit below medium and just kind of stir constantly. A little below medium because I don't want to burn the milk. The key here is to just stir constantly. Like, don't even walk away. Don't even think about walking away. And I will get back to you when this starts to thicken up. Alright, it's been going about 6 minutes and it looks like it's starting to thicken up a bit. So it'll feel like you're doing absolutely nothing. You're just standing over a hot pan of liquid. But then all of a sudden it'll just start thickening up like so. You want to turn the heat down even more just so as to not burn anything. So just basically just like really done up thickened coffee. And this might be about as thick as it gets. Turn the heat off. And I'm gonna do what's typical for myself. I'm gonna panic and add a little bit, oops, wrong burner. I'm gonna panic and add a little extra cornstarch slurry. Let's see if that thickens up appropriately. Ideally, get the right amount of cornstarch in the first place. And turn the heat down a little bit. I think it needs a little more pumpkin pie spice. Shake that all in there. Turn the heat off. Here it goes into the pie crust. And I still feel like that might be a little too thick. But we'll see how it settles in. Taste this real quick. Tastes very good. Got the first piece out of the pie. It turned out looking pretty good. Had a little bit of the crust fall off, but that's kind of to be expected. I was conservative with the butter, and if I'd used more, it probably would have held up better, but I think it's still going to taste pretty good. I tasted the filling, so I'm confident enough to throw some whipped cream on there, so let's go ahead and whip that up. Alright, here I have a chilled bowl, heavy whipping cream, and a pair of whippers, some pumpkin spice. I don't want to go too crazy because I'm going to add a little on top just to make it look pretty. Top of the whipped cream, that is. Start off slow, I think, is the idea. Almost forgot. Going to add in a little bit of sugar and cornstarch. That's 1/3 of a cup. I didn't have any powdered sugar, so that's why I did that. The cornstarch supposedly helps kind of stabilize it or something. I don't know. I'm adding in a splash of vanilla. Just at this point right now, because that's just when I happen to think of it. I'm going to consider this done for the sake of not over whipping it. Put a little dollop on there. It's kind of funny how this looks almost like real pumpkin pie, but it's not. It's fake pumpkin pie made with coffee. Ooh, doesn't that look pretty? I'm not going to reposition the camera for the taste test. You're just going to have to take my word for it that I'm not throwing it in the trash. It's going directly into my mouth, and I'm going to tell you how it is. Some whipped cream on there. Pretty good. It does have kind of like a weird gelatin-ish kind of texture. So if you're not into that sort of thing, that might be a turnoff, but the taste is very good. Yeah, I'm going to chalk this up as a win. Definitely can be improved. I encourage you all to try this if this is something you would like to try, which I imagine you are if you're watching this video. So yeah, if you are interested in making a pumpkin spice coffee pie, I would recommend that you do it in a way similar to this. You can play around with the ratios of liquids. I would just keep the total amount kind of the same, about 2 cups, then the same amount of eggs, same amount of cornstarch. And then the sugar I would keep more or less the same, like give or take like maybe 1/4 cup, but yeah, about a total cup of sugar is what I would do. So thank you for watching, especially if you watched all the way to the end. And like I said, if you like and subscribe, that would be awesome. So thanks for watching, and bye.